Alright, this is my third trip up. 2.5 weeks ago I came up with my dad and we just went up this valley here and checked the cameras. About 7 3/4 miles in and out. Nothing, no new territory, just to check those cameras. I'm going up on top of this ridge. It's interesting that this is like desert barren, but on the north facing side it's all trees. There's like a perfect line that follows that. Way back in, about 3 miles, is where my furthest camera is. Okay, the last time I talked to you I was on the other side of that ridge, so I've come around, and this saddle here runs out to a sheer cliff. But I also found this ridge line that looks much easier to climb. I'm still nowhere near in deep enough to be in like prime hunting area. I'm going right up on top of these cliff rocks here, follow that ridge line over and through there, and I'll touch base when I get up to the top of that one. I'm still following the ridge line. Started way out there, and I've been able to easily pick my way through up to this point. Now I'm kind of getting to a crossroads of there's not an easy line. Well, I made it through. I'd go over 100 yards without ever having my feet touch the ground. Just balancing myself from log to log using these trekking poles. I should have went in further and took one of these other drainages up. I'm burning a lot of time just paralleling the lower, there's a trail, lightly used trail at the bottom of this. All right, I am really burning up the calories and time going this route, but I'm only like a mile in. Okay, hopefully you can hear me over the wind. Last season I was on that ridge line. If you go back to my last year's video, I think it was one of the last days, I did run into a guy who had cut the entire ridge line in with a chainsaw. And he told me that this ridge line was cut in with the chainsaw. And I just looked over and see all these logs cut right along this ridge line. And there's more right here. But you can see everything has fallen. So the path that I'm on right now, right through here, used to be cut in. Look at all these cut logs. Well, it looks like someone had some luck. I believe this. I think that's an elk. And maybe they cut the head off. The hide is right here. Oh wait, this is another rib cage. There must have been a double kill here. You can see there's some remnants there. Another rib cage. I wonder if that's last year's. It looks a lot smaller. I think the pelvis is back there and the neck was up here. I'm about 100 yards from, well, not even 100 yards from those carcasses. And as you can see, I'm right along private land, and there's a little road on that private land just off to my left. But that's not open to the public. So I'm right ahead of me, where the arrow is pointing, is all national forest, and it opens up wide open to the left and to the right of uninterrupted land, free land, with no hiking trails, no jeep trails. I found a camera, a trail camera, pointing at one of those mineral feed barrels, and I told the game warden about it. He says, yeah, it's not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to have cameras over any food source, even if that food source is for livestock. All right, I'm not in nearly as deep as I thought I was. I'm still 0.8 miles in the wrong direction, 0.8 miles to go to the spot where I saw those 23 elk my first trip up here. And man, this trail is super cut in right now. This is like walking down a path. You can tell that animals have also been using this. Got a storm coming. It's getting real windy, a storm's coming. But there is a pretty serious dark aspen grove right there in that drainage, and it looks like there's a flat area that would make a great spot for some elk. I just got to figure out, I'm going to go this way a little bit off this bluff here where this cut-in trail goes, and I may be backtracking and going back around, following the topographical lines to stay up on a ridge. This big saddle here, it's kind of confusing. Okay, the deadfall has ended. The trail has led me to this open area, this bluff that kind of goes out into the main valley. And right down there, that I can see it with my eye, those are the beaver ponds. And I am still nowhere near where I wanted to be. I want to be up on the other side of that hill. That's where, like, of course this is all a learning thing. I haven't been up this route. I am going to glass this whole valley here in a second just to see what I see. But somehow I got to get way over there. So somehow I always seem to find a way to get myself into this. Would really like to come across that chainsawed in trail, but I'm going this way. I see a slight opening in that direction, and then up. There's a little aspen grove there, and then up and over that hill. Alright, I'm finally coming out into some opening. That is a good sight for me right down there. I've been in the thickest, nastiest obstacle course of logs. Can top off with some water before I start climbing up and over. Alright, I found a tiny little pool of water. It looks pretty nasty. Well, I just found another cut log trail through here. I came down across that ridge line without a cut log trail. This one looks older, but I can definitely see it weaving its way back that way. I just came this way and found this giant rub. Heard stories. It's starting to come back to me that all of these ridge lines are cut in, and some of the guys I ran into on the other side of the valley said that they have hunted over here, but it's rough, kind of like it is I'm experiencing. But telling stories of 300 plus inch bulls on this side, following the log trail. See the cut logs there. And I'm not sure what I stumbled across here. I see all this old blue tarp deteriorating. Alright. I've been just following and following and following these logs that are cut. Sometimes I lose the trail and then I find it again. But I am now coming to the top. This looks really, really good up here. We got aspens, we've got grass, and it drops over to the north side, and this side leads down to all that water. You can see there's a bed, an older bed there. Well, I've decided that I need to put one camera up in here somewhere. So I'm down in these saplings looking for these last year's rubs. The only thing with my camera is if I put it in this aspens here, the slightest breeze, all these leaves just start fluttering and triggering my cameras. There's another one that's a year old. Looks like there's an old one right there. Just found another nice one from last year. Actually, that one may be, well, last year or 2 years. It's super thick in here. But I also just was glancing around and saw this over here. Here's another really good rub. There's one right there too, but for sure this is one. Not too sure what to make of this one. That looks, yep, it's both sides. That's a last year's rub. There's another one there. This is kind of a hotbed. Oops, stuck. Oh, geez. Here's another one. I'm like following a line here. We've got this one. We've got this one. I might be on a trail. Tree. It's on this side. And it's on this side. I'm still trucking along. I'm about 0.6 miles from the camera that I'm heading to. We've got a bed here, a bed here, a bed there, a bed right here. Still moving through this bedding area, and I'm finding bed after bed after bed, this whole area. Some fresh elk shit. Soft. I mean, there was a ton of them in here. There's a bed, there's a bed. There's another bed. There's more. Yeah, more fresh. Coming down through this tight aspen grove. This came through this trail. There's basically 3 rubs right here from last year. I finally made it to the camera that I've been going for. I thought I was coming down this drainage. Again, I got sidetracked. I was just on the other side. So there are 2 major trails, one in this little mini drainage and one in the next little mini drainage. So this is the big meadow. Once you get up into this area, you're just over this hill from kind of a jeep trail. So I just picked up the last camera. This little spot here inside of all these pine trees looks like a nice spot for a blind. I'll have to check the camera when I get home, but there is a real serious trail that comes off this side of the mountain. See that trail? It's heavily used. Now I see right out there is where that barrel used to be of mineral or something like that. So I gotta go over and just check to see if that barrel's still there. I talked to the game warden. He said it's not supposed to be there unless the guy, the rancher that has this lease, is actively using this land for his cattle. Not much left. This thing was, at the beginning of June, it was up to like here, and you didn't see any of the bottom. So this thing is still bringing in the elk. And right on that tree there is that trail camera. Hopefully he's friendly, because I'm on that camera several times checking this barrel out. So the named hiking trail goes that way. What I just noticed, because I've been looking for him so much when I was way up top, is this sawed logs here. I'm wondering if this is the start of a trail. Doesn't look very well used to get way back up in there where I was. Because this is the one drainage. I thought we would take this trail into here and not go that way, but go up this way. So I finally dumped out that nasty cesspool water and just got some of this here. You see how it's moving, it's not stagnant. Tastes like good water. This dog keeps charging me every time I get down. I jump right up into the truck here. Let's see if I can get down into the truck now. black one isn't bad. It's the reddish colored one, that one there. Oh shit, here he comes. Hey doggy. Jeez. Whew. Cujo almost got me. I'm pretty sure that if I stand my ground and yelled and puffed up at, I guess the dog's name is Charlie. There's a river. I made some good time coming out of there. I think it was, oh, I picked up the last camera probably at 4:30. So it took 2 hours to come out. And I was hauling ass. And I did pick up 2 cameras on the way out. So I picked up 3 and I dropped off 2.